What did he say? And I said, because I've researched you. You're on the board of directors for the Dan & Yogurt Research Foundation. And you, Dr. Garza, you get $500,000 every year from USDA to promote New York State's milk extension program at Cornell University. And I went down the line.
Wow.
I researched their conflicts of interest. So I say again, I name names and I know dates and I know what they're doing and I know their marketing.
What do you think about the former legal counsel to Monsanto being on the head of agriculture for Obama?
His name is Michael Taylor, and Michael Taylor replaced somebody as Monsanto's counsel. The man he replaced, you know attorneys, a lot of attorneys?
Not these attorneys, no.
Well, he replaced a man who used to be Monsanto's counsel by the name of Clarence Thomas.
Okay.
Okay, that one you know, right?
Yes.
Michael Taylor wrote a very important paper while he was working for King and Spalding. And by the way, I sued the government, King and Spalding. I went one-on-one against them, trying to get the study released. During the midst of my trying to get a study released, the study which every animal got cancer, every laboratory animal got cancer, authored by Richard O'Douglas and Deslex, I wanted that study released. The Inspector General came out and supported me. He said it was a key study, it should be released in its entirety, but they held it back. But that year, Bill Clinton, while I was in court, signed a law that Public Law 104-273, which said that if I release a study, and I had it, if I release a study, I'll go to jail for 10 years with a $15 million fine. Bill Clinton then, in the State of the Union address, actually named and praised Monsanto for a company to bring us into the 21st century. So I kind of was fighting, tilting at windmills with a very long lance and fighting some big dragons. But again, they didn't kill me. So we who feel paranoid sometimes, they're not evil. They're just into it for the money, and there's lots of money there. And it's a multi-trillion-dollar business giving us the wrong foods to eat. Kim, it's a good thing they're giving us the wrong foods to eat. You know why?
Why?
We're growing broke. We can't afford to live to age 80, 90. We're destroying our pension fund, Social Security. We need something to make people die sooner. Thank God for dairy.
How about the vaccinations? That's pretty scary, too.
Oh, that's entirely scary. There's a wonderful book out there by Len Horowitz. It's called Emerging Viruses.
Yes, scary,
And,
very scary.
Research, yeah.
Talk about what homogenization is. You talked about pasteurization. What is homogenization? Share it.
Homogenization, if you look in the dictionary under the word dumb, it's the dumbest thing that we have ever done in our society because we take milk and we spray it through a filter with 10,000 holes at 4,000 pounds of pressure, and it creates what scientists call micronized liposomes. It makes the fat molecules between 10 and 100 times smaller. So that 1 pint of milk actually contains, believe it or not, trillion fat molecules. Now, these trillion fat molecules envelop these very tiny protein hormones, just like these TV commercials we used to see as kids, these cold-release time capsules.
Right.
They last for 30 minutes to 12 hours, and they're protected. This hormone that we manufacture in our body, the most powerful growth hormone, IGF-1, is gone in less than a half a second when we make it in our body. And in cow's milk, it's active for up to 30 minutes. It comes upon an existing cancer, and it's the key factor in its growth. Can I ask a personal question of you, Kim?
I don't know. Let's see what it is.
Well, you can say, no, I'm not going to tell, but since I'm going to put you on the spot, you have to tell.
Tell me.
I'm going to be 60 next year. How old are you?
51.
51. Do you have cancer?
No.
Good.
I barely drink milk at all. I have just a little bit of cream with coffee in the morning, and that's it. I don't touch milk products.
Well, let me tell you something about cancer, Kim. You can look this up. November 8th, 1994, New York Times published a study. It was an autopsy study about premature death, people killed in car accidents.
Right.
And now you're 51?
Yes.
They found that, well, we're going to ask you another trivia question. What percentage of adults over age 50 have thyroid tumors?
That I don't know, but I do take thyroid. I've had thyroid problems since I was 12.
Okay, well, what percentage of adults over age 50, since you're over age 50, this might be of concern, what percentage of adults have thyroid tumors?
I have no idea.
Take a guess.
50%?
50%? The answer is 100%. Now, I say this to people sometimes. They go, is this guy nuts? New York Times, November 8th, 1994. You can look it up online. It's free. It's on page C1. The article was written by Gina Colata. 100%. And this is terrifying because what it tells us is that cancer is really common. We usually control it. It usually is not clinically diagnosed.
I thought you said thyroid problems. Or
thyroid tumors.
Tumors. Okay.
Thyroid cancer.
Okay.
Now, the same study showed that between ages 40 and 50, even though 1% of women in that age group are clinically diagnosed with breast cancer, 39.6 have it. Now, again, studies November 8th, 1994. Thousands of things cause cancer. Everything causes cancer. But one thing makes it grow, and the one thing is IGF-1. And again, I told you, it's made, produced, manufactured in our body. It's gone in less than a half a second. It's either proteolyzed or it attaches to receptors and deactivated. But in cow's milk, because of homogenization, which was your question, it's protected. We have improved upon nature. Cow's milk has lots of growth hormones. By homogenizing it, we protect these hormones from degradation so they last a long time, and that IGF-1 has been identified. Look at the letter B in my book, Milk A to Z, the E for breast cancer, and you will be astounded at how many studies link IGF-1 as the key factor in breast cancer. And there we are drinking it in cow's milk. Milk is a hormonal delivery system and is appropriate for infants to grow. I mean, the dairy industry, the nerve of them telling you drink milk, you're going to lose weight. That's what milk was designed for, to make us lose weight. Use your head, people. Milk is a hormonal delivery system. It's responsible for growth, and that's what cancer is, growth, untamed growth. IGF-1 is the key. IGF-1 is gasoline on a fire.
That's pretty powerful. Whoa. Whew. Question, this really scared me. Another thing in your book, Milk the Deadly Poison, talks about mastitis, ulcers on cows' udders. I want you to share that with the public.
Typically, when you look at a somatic cell count, which is the number of pus cells in America, when you get up to 280,000 per milliliter, okay, that's a thimble size, 280,000 pus cells per milliliter, you're talking about 35% of the herd is infected with mastitis, with these ulcers on the interior or exterior of a cow's udder. So the cow is under a lot of stress. 1960, the average cow produced 8 quarts of milk a day. Today, it's about 25 quarts of milk a day. The cow is stressed. She's milked 3 times a day. There's very little time for her to heal. She has an effective milking life of 2.5 years. 35% of the cows are sent to slaughterhouses every year, so the turnover in the herd is great because these are stressed creatures with the ulcers on their udders, with leukemias and cancers that have to be cut out of the flesh before they're used for dog food. And why do you think all your dogs are dying of cancer? When we eat these things, they all go to the slaughterhouse, and they all go very early. Some of them can't even walk in because their bones are depleted.
I think it's terrible how we treat our animals. Seriously, the whole agribusiness is very, very painful for me to think about and talk about. Horrendous. How these animals are treated is terrible.
I'm an animal rights guy, but I am first for compassion to people.
Yeah.
People come first in my book. Maybe Ingrid Newkirk at PETA Animals come first, but to me, people come first. And by eating the animals, we compromise every tissue and organ and blood in our body. And that's it. We're eating dirty fuel with all of that sulfur and all of those diseases. And it's natural that we're going to get them. And we're going to compromise our bodies and our health. And again, that 20 years we spend dying shouldn't be that way. And I'm proving now in my own personal life, I'm rewinding my clock. I've gotten 10 years younger this year, and I'm going to get 10 years younger next year.
You obviously drink a lot of green juices and eat salads, correct?
Oh, yeah, sure.
How much fruit do you eat a day?
Maybe minimum of 15, 20 portions a day, but primarily bananas. I mean, I've discovered the perfect food. And I'm a big fan of variety. So if you looked in my refrigerator now, you'd see freshly cut pineapple and papaya and other melons. There are Gaia melons in there, and watermelon, and all of these different grapes and strawberries and blueberries and bananas. Big fan of that stuff. And I found different ways to prepare them. For example, if you take red grapes, seedless grapes, and you just take them off the vine and put them in a container and put them in the freezer, it's like eating ice cream. They're soft. They're not like ice cubes. And they're wonderful. It's like eating candy. You want those magic substances like broccoli, the dithiocyanates, and the saponins and the lignans and the protease inhibitors and substances we know prevent our cells from getting old. That's what you want to do. You want to stay healthy, and fruit's the way to go.
Let's talk about yogurt, Robert. Let's talk about the National Yogurt Foundation and where you're at, because so many people eat yogurt and think that it's good for them and it's good for lactobacillus. Talk about it.
The year was 1916.